Thanks everyone, this is First Centurion 753 with a new series. I'm playing as America, and I'm doing what I'm calling an American Empire series, and I'm taking a little bit of a different approach to this one. This is actually a game that I've already been playing. You can see that it's already October 2017. Hillary Clinton has won the election. I tried to actually keep Obama in, and it didn't work. I might have done it too late, but I did change the what is it? The length of the term? Oh, term limits. There we go. I made the term limits for the United States president unlimited, so I was able to pull that off. But I think I pulled it off. I might have just pulled it off a little bit too late to keep Obama in. So we're stuck with Hillary Clinton. We won the election pretty easily. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build an American empire. So we're going to get kind of aggressive geopolitically. I've already sort of created a little bit of an empire over here. There was a war. I was really just playing this game just to sort of like test things out. I've been playing, Geopolitical Simulator for a while. And I basically wanted to see what it was like to play with the most powerful country in the game, which is the United States. And there was a war that broke out between Morocco and Spain. Spain was our ally, or is our ally, and we sent some troops over there, and we did pretty well. We actually captured a naval base here in the Mediterranean, and a number of cities here in western Morocco. And we're basically still retaining those cities after the war. They're under our control. That did cause, like, a little bit of a deficit increase, and I don't know if that was because of the fact that we had to provide more government services to these people. Again, I don't have all the mechanics of the game figured out just yet, but I did much better in the war, and those of you guys who have watched me wage war in this game, I've done pretty poorly up till now, and I don't know if I've posted the end of the Pan-Arabic Democracy series yet, but that was a disaster. So was the Russian series. So I'm going to try to take a more militaristic approach with the United States. And we're going to try to build an empire. Again, we can stay in office forever, I guess, with Hillary Clinton. Wasn't the one I was trying to stay in office with, but I guess as long as the party stays in office, we'll be fine. So I'm gonna, for the objectives geopolitically, the first objective is going to be Cuba now, and we're gonna try to launch an invasion of Cuba. I've established pretty good relations with the Bahamas, and I actually have a alliance with them, and I think I've just established the fact that I can build on their islands. Let's see, alliances. Let's switch that. I think it's the Bahamas. There it is, the Bahamas. Okay, so we have an alliance with them. We have rights of passage for their naval, in their waters, as well as in their airspace. So I'm going to go ahead and try to build an air base next, is the next objective. And I'm also going to build a air base in southern Florida, which was a campaign promise. It wasn't a campaign promise that really helped me at all, but it was a campaign promise. And we're going to try to just go ahead and blitz the capital here. This was proposed by one of the YouTuber fans, Elfions. I know I haven't been around in a while. I apologize. Apologize to everybody. I haven't been YouTubing on the weekends. Kind of busy at this point, but I'm sneaking in a quick 20-minute episode here Sunday night to try to, keep people entertained. And like I said, this is going to be a different type of series. I am not going to play it all the way out. I'm not going to live stream this, and I'm not going to play everything out. I'm just going to do like the invasions and the battles and stuff like that. And I'll do like brief overviews once in a while in between, like I'm doing right now. But basically, we're in October of 2017. I'm going to go over the taxes with you guys, and a little bit more about my economic and military strategies. And I'm not going, and then I'm going to play until I'm ready to go to war, and I'm not going to post that. I know some people were sort of getting like tired of all the the waiting and everything. I know there are people out there who do like to watch the whole episode. I personally would always do like to watch, the whole episode and not necessarily just the war parts. But there are people out there that I think are on my channel that are just tuning in for the war parts. So this is for those war hawks out there that like to watch video games and to like to see the battle and the climax and everything. I'll probably do another series once things settle down in December and sort of just play the whole thing out and live stream it for everyone else. But this is going to be just a periodic series, and I'm not going to play out the whole thing. And I'm actually not going to play out anything today. In this video, I'm just going to go over some quick... I'm just going to explain how I pulled off this budget excess in the United States, because that probably could be helpful to some people who play the game. So it's October of 2017, and we have a budget excess or a budget surplus of $84 billion. Now, how the heck did I pull it off? Because it was at one point, I think it was a negative like 400 when we started. But a lot of taxation basically is what I was able to pull off. I have a value-added tax or a sales tax of 2%. Income taxes, the high bracket, is at 42%, really high. The mid bracket is at 30%. I think that's gone up 1 or 2 points, and I don't think I touched the lower bracket at all. I played this a couple weeks ago. I'm just doing an overview now. Inheritance tax, I definitely raised a lot. It's up to 42. That was actually pretty easy to raise. For the value-added tax, I had to sort of like attach a few things. But this one was easy to go up. It's probably still is easy, actually, to boost it. I'll just check the opinion. I'm not going to actually save this part of it, but I'm just going to show you guys. Yeah, I could still bring it up if I need to, but I don't need to. So we're not gonna do that. I think I lowered the gun tax. I think that might have been like an attachment. The gun tax was at 50, so I think I lowered it amount per weapon $50. I lowered it to $40 per weapon. And I believe I attached that to one of the bills. There is probably a legislative history that we could look at. Law history. Yeah, here's the whole thing. You know what? I'm not gonna... Well, I could go through all this. That's a lot. I'm not gonna go through everything. That's everything I did. Change the term limits. Company tax. Gas tax reform. Alright, so that was combined there. Determine the level of freedom. Information. Oh, and I canceled that. So it looks like I had a company tax, which I increased, I think, 1%. Deforestation tax. Employee social security benefits. And their payments, I think, were reduced to get through that gas tax. I established a minimum monthly rent, which is something that I campaigned on. There's the gun tax. I used the gun tax to get those income taxes through. I think I might actually raise income tax on each level there. And then I threw the inheritance tax on there. The gas tax the first one had a lot of, proposed on. They had a lot of, bills. Did I do 2 gas tax and call it 1? Liquor tax, I added. Financial transaction tax. I'm just going to go through what the taxes are at, because it's confusing that way. Okay. So, like I said, value-added tax, sales tax, increase the income taxes, increase the inheritance tax, cut the gun tax, didn't touch airplanes, employee social security benefits, that was cut. Company taxes were cut. Financial transaction tax of 0.02%, that added a good amount. Well, not too much. 24 billion. Value-added tax adds 231 billion. That's huge. Huge. And then the income taxes obviously are a lot. I also added this tax on petroleum products, which is a nice chunk there. And I guess I did the gambling tax. The pornography tax is one that everyone always approves, so that's like a nice one to attach to any bill. Both parties in the United States are for the pornography tax. They can't, come out against it really. The deforestation, I guess I brought that up a little bit, and I think I added a little bit on the taxes for industrial pollution. And that is the basic tax overview. And that helped me get to this budget surplus that we have there. Additionally, with trade, I made a lot of trade contracts with India for purchasing a lot of goods from India. And those were all excellent contracts. Detailed assessment. We've got contracts will all provide very low prices, and they also provide a large amount of supply that we need. So that the India summit basically was very helpful. China, I made a good deal with China for potatoes, and I'm hoping that that will improve relations. I didn't want to do too much from China because relations with China are pretty poor to start the game, and you don't get that many rounds in the negotiation because of that. So I'm hoping that the potato contract and continued improvement with China will improve relations going forward in the future. I'm not trying to fight China. I'm trying to build an empire, but I'm not trying to fight China by doing it. I'm also trying not to fight Russia. So one of the goals in the next quarter here is going to be to establish some trade agreements with Russia. Preferably, I'm thinking for oil, since the oil price is flat. Why not go ahead and buy it from Russia, improve relations with them. I know currently the United States has sanctions on Russia, but I don't think that's in this game. And I think oil is involved with those sanctions. I believe so. Or at least they were after the Ukraine crisis. But I'm not too concerned about the Ukraine. I'm building an empire, so, you know. I'm not trying to contain anybody. This is probably more of like a Donald Trump foreign policy type situation. Because after Cuba, my next plan is to invade Venezuela and grab the oil. So if I can grab the oil in Venezuela and basically annex Venezuela, which will be the next step after Cuba, then what I'd like to do is build pipelines to Brazil, basically, and to that's a developing economy, and I'll benefit from that trade hopefully. And yeah, I know a lot of people have been asking on the channel, what's the deal with the pipelines? How do they benefit and everything? That is something I plan on addressing later on in the series. But before we get to that, it's going to be Cuba. Cuba is going to be the next invasion. I think I've already placed an embargo on Cuba, an arms embargo, and I'm probably going to get a little bit more tough with some of the diplomacy over the next quarter. But I'm not going to declare war in this quarter. And I'm not even actually going to build the air bases. I'm planning on building the 2 air bases, one in southern Florida and one in the Bahamas. And again, I'm not going to record this so you guys don't have to watch the whole thing, and I'll be skipping and everything. But I think in the next quarter, in 2018 quarter, which I'll know if there's any. I don't remember if I borrowed any money in 2017, but I'll see exactly what the surplus is in 2018, and are we able to maintain the surplus? And I think we're going in a good direction too, because we are starting to slowly pay down a little bit of the debt. But it did go up there for a while, and I forgot what I spent it on. It might have been the military. So that looks like that happened last year. So I don't know if we're gonna have too many payments. So basically, over the next quarter, my plan is to start to redeploy some of our military forces south to Florida. Fort Lauderdale, that's International Airport. Where am I going to send them? I have no idea. I'm going to start deploying them south. I think I can put rocket launchers here, or maybe even, I don't know if I can get them on the Keys. At least I can put them right there in the southern part of the Everglades. And hopefully they can launch. I am probably going to try to take out the airfields first, initially. Massive airstrikes to attack the airfields, and then, or simultaneously, capture the port here and Havana. And I think once I capture Havana, I think that's going to be game over. So we'll see if we can pull that off. And that part I will record. But again, the first quarter, just going to be working on redeploying troops south. For this last quarter in 2017, I'm going to be redeploying troops south. I'm going to try to negotiate better interest rates. My interest rates are pretty good. I've been negotiating them down. United States, Japan's interest rate have gotten down below 1%, so that's huge. So is Canada's too. China has not been honoring the agreements. We come up with an agreement, and then they never really seem to honor it. But China and Japan are the two big lenders, so getting them, and then India too. And we're establishing good relations with India. France is down pretty low. So a lot of these rates are pretty good. They're below, most of them are below 2%. Russia, of course, I don't think they've been honoring the agreements either. You know, we come up with an agreement to lower it below 2% multiple times, and then it never goes down below 2%. So I'm going to continue to deal with the lenders. Again, you guys don't have to see that. You won't have to see that. I've been dealing with a lot of disasters in the United States. There was a volcano, I think, an earthquake, and then a bunch of hurricanes. So that's one thing. But there is that catastrophe relief fund that is special catastrophe fund right there. So that's well funded. I guess I probably could add to that under the environment if I needed to, but there's 10 billion there, so we really haven't had to add to that. It's usually, well, I don't remember how much it is. Popularity has been maintained with a lot of like sports victories too, so that's helpful when playing as the United States. And I'm planning on not cutting any of the sports funding. So basically, I'm gonna play out this quarter. I am gonna try to probably negotiate some more trade treaties, because every time we do that, it does improve the GDP, which also ends up increasing our revenue slightly. So I'm going to continue to try to purchase things pretty cheaply around the world. That would basically, it's improving the purchasing power of the people, which means they can spend it on other things, which will actually stimulate our economy. So there you go, free trade, the benefits of free trade. And so I'm going to try to get through this quarter, cut the rates, make some trade agreements, and then in the first quarter of 2018, we're going to build 2 bases here, and possibly around the summer of 2018 in the game, an invasion of Cuba, and hopefully an annexation of Cuba. The next step after that will probably, I was thinking like some sort of like maybe Caribbean free trade agreement. I don't want to go and invade all these different islands, so I'm just going to try to bring them into our, you know, hegemony, kind of diplomatic hegemony, and include them all in like a free trade zone, Caribbean free trade zone, and maybe I can build some bases too. At the same time, I can definitely build bases in Puerto Rico. We've got a base there. But after Cuba, the next big step is going to be Venezuela. And if I can annex Venezuela, pipelines to Brazil, we'll figure out that whole pipeline mess. And then we'll see where the world, you know, see where it goes from there. There's a lot of bases that the United States has around the world. So I'm thinking that as conflicts emerge, we can go ahead and look at all these bases. We can use our overseas forces to maybe just grab some more cities and expand the empire that way. A lot of bases down here in the Gulf. I've been trying to pull troops out of Afghanistan because that's just like a mess, kind of. There's no real benefit to having troops in Afghanistan. But we got a nice base there in Kyrgyzstan, if I said that right. And there's satellites all over the world. And we've got some bases in the Far East. I think we also have some bases in the Indian Ocean. There's definitely bases in the Pacific. And then Diego Garcia is down there in the Indian Ocean. So America has bases all around the world. And that's true. So there is sort of like a mini American empire going on here, or a neo-imperialistic American empire. And maybe I can use that to bring back like an old colonial empire. Sudan, Eritrea. A lot of bases in Europe. So that's it. That's the introductory video to this series. Again, American Empire series, starting in November of 2016. and my play is starting in 2017. So, hope it's interesting for you guys. Again, once I'm done with graduate school in December, I will start live streaming again, and I'll probably try to take on a couple other games, maybe a couple other strategy games that I got my eye on. If anyone has any game suggestions for my channel, again, I try to focus on political strategy and historical strategy games. So if anyone has any other suggestions for me about what I can add, other videos or other games I can play on the channel, feel free to post. And as always, thanks for watching, and I appreciate your support.